Dan Kolko and Bo Porter. And Bo, it's more of the same when you're talking about this Nationals team. Trouble in the 7th inning, in the 8th inning. This team has issues getting the ball to their late inning guys, their highest leverage guys. And this time they're not able to pick up the offense late in the game to overcome those bullpen issues. They drop a big game down in Miami today.
Yes, this one hurts. And again, we don't know how bad it's going to hurt until we get to the end of the season. But when you look at going into Miami, we said that the Nationals needed to sweep the Marlins. Just looking at the playoff race and how it's shaping up and how well the Milwaukee Brewers are playing down the stretch, you just can ill afford to lose a game to a team that obviously you are superior to. And you look at the fact that we had this game in hand and we were not able to close it out in those middle innings. It leaves a lot to be desired as it relates to the bullpen and the Nationals moving forward with this bullpen and how they're going to be used to actually get us into the postseason.
Austin Voth battled through 5 innings today down in Miami. Did a nice job. Was at 81 pitches. Davey Martinez opted to go to his bullpen in the 6th inning. And Hunter Strickland, the first guy out of the Nationals bullpen, put up a 0 in that 6th. But then issues for the Nats in the 7th. Here's the Nationals bullpen the last 2 days. 3 innings last night, allowed 4 runs. 3 innings today, allowed 4 runs. And Bo, it was the 7th inning, it was Strickland, it was Suero, and it was a 4-run frame for the Marlins that gave them this win.
Yes, and a lot of this starts with command. You look, there's a 3-1 fastball, and it's center cut middle, and it's down, and Dean just hit this ball out of the ballpark. That's just a bad location to go in that situation. And then when Suero comes into the game, again, when you look at fundamentals and just picking over to first base, you're not picking over to pick everybody off. Sometimes you're just looking to see, is this guy leaning, or are they trying to hit and run? We throw the ball away. We now put a man into scoring position, and then you now have to focus back on the next batter. And we're just going to follow the catcher's mitt here, because when you look at these pitches, he is missing these pitches by 16, 17 inches. And when you come out of the bullpen, you have to throw strikes. You have to be able to command your pitches and give your team a chance to defend the baseball. We did not do that. We then make another mistake in the middle of the plate, and Birdie hits the ball over Eaton's head. Both runs score. Again, when you look at late game situations, it starts with your arsenal, which you have the ability to throw, but it comes down to your ability to command the baseball. And when you look at Wander Suero coming into these tight situations, he just do not possess the ability to command the baseball in those situations.
Let's go back down to Miami now. FP Santangelo called today's game along with Bob Carpenter, and FP joins us on our Nats Extra postgame show. And FP, this was a game that was there for the taking for the Nationals. They had a 3-1 lead going to the 7th inning. Bo and I just talking about the command issues of Wander Suero in that 7th, and you mentioned it on our broadcast. Mike Rizzo says it all the time. You come out of the bullpen, you need to get ahead of hitters. You come out and you fall behind guys 2-0, 3-1, and you issue free passes. That's a tough way to live if you're a major league reliever.
Isn't this great, you guys? The wild card's tied going to the last homestand of the season. You got to embrace all this stuff right now. I mean, it's crazy. It's pitch by pitch. It's at bat by at bat. It's inning by inning. But when you talk about what happened yesterday with the bullpen, them coming back today with the bullpen, losing's not fun. And it's just getting gnarly all of a sudden, because it looks like the wild card's going to be tied going to the last homestand. But you got to soak all this in, man. This stuff doesn't happen every day. You're playing meaningful games, the last homestand of the season. Is it nerve-wracking? Yeah. Is it sweaty palms, 2-0, 3-1 every hitter? Yeah. These guys aren't trying to come in and throw balls. They're not trying to come in and walk guys. They're not trying to come in and hit guys or give up home runs. It's just the way it went today. So I looked at it this way, and I forgot to make this point during the broadcast today, and I'm upset with myself for not saying it. They've basically been on the road for 18 straight days. When you look at the big, long road trip to Atlanta and Minnesota before this with an off day, just to unpack and wash your clothes at home, and then right back on the road for St. Louis and Miami, now things are going to start to settle down a little bit. You're going to get into your routine, even though you're playing 5 games in 4 days against the Phillies. I think the big, long road trip and kind of everybody scrambling in city to city to city to city to city, now finally getting to unpack, maybe get into routine. Things are going to settle down. I think it's going to be a good homestand for this team. But, I mean, you got to embrace it. This is the pennant race. This is the wild card race. Did today suck? Yeah. But you got a big game tomorrow against the Phillies.
FP, we've watched the last two games and we've seen the bullpen woes. As you head into the postseason, or really down the stretch, and you're trying to fight your way into the playoffs, we know how intense those postseason games are, and the starters are not going deep into the game. If you are the Nationals, how are we going to bridge the gap from the time the starter comes out of the game to getting those final 11, 12 outs that we may need from our bullpen?
Well, I think you're going to need the starters to step up and be efficient, and with Max Scherzer to go deep into a game and maybe not strike out as many guys and go to the eighth inning and hand the ball to Sean Doolittle or Daniel Hudson. I think that's a recipe for success in the postseason. But I'm worried about no lefties. There's some great lefty hitters in the National League, whether it's Freddie Freeman or Cody Bellinger or Max Muncy. You name any of these guys in the National League, and only have Sean Doolittle come in big innings, and you have to face maybe a lefty twice in the seventh and the ninth. That's my biggest concern. There's a lot of concerns, obviously, with the bullpen right now, but you're going to have your starting pitcher step up, and if you're lucky enough to get to that one-game wild card game, you're going to have to go a Scherzer to Corbin to maybe a Strasburg to a Doolittle, and who cares about how it matches up for the NLDS? You got to get there first.
And Pete, thanks for the time. Have a safe trip home. We'll see you at the ballpark tomorrow.
Embrace it, boys. Embrace all of it. It's fun.
It's going to be a fun final 8 games over the final week of the regular season for sure. But, Bo, this is a big game. The Brewers are set to win right now, which would tie the Nationals in the wild card race. They're about to win 15 of their last 17 games. These are important ball games to get to postseason ball, to try and host that wild card game. And fact of the matter is, I agree with FP. This is fun. This is exciting.
I disagree.
You got to win these games to get where you want to go. And the Nationals let this one slip away in the 7th inning. They fell behind guys with this bullpen, and it puts you in tough situations.
I disagree. This is the thing. You can ill afford to lose games to the Marlins. They're in a different space than we're in. And the fact remains this. We are a better ball club. We let this game slip away. Yes, by tomorrow, game time, we can let it go. I'm sorry, I'm not letting it go at this very moment because this was a winnable game that we let get away. And again, we're still not using our bullpen in a fashion like we're playing a one-game playoff. Yes, it stings today. I hope this game don't come back and bite us.
Yeah.
I hope we're still able to get in because we play well the rest of the way. But every game to me, until we get into the postseason, is an elimination playoff game, and it should be treated as such.
So the Nationals do not likely gain ground with their magic number situation still at 5 unless the Cubs fall to the Cardinals and end up blowing the lead that they have at Wrigley Field today. We'll monitor that over the course of our postgame show here. Bo, the Nationals tried to mount a rally as they've done so often this year in the 9th inning. They squared a couple balls up, but the Marlins did a nice job in this 9th inning of wrapping up a first career save for Jeff Brigham.
And I'll tell you, credit to Donnie Baseball, his staff, and the Miami Marlins because they played all out these whole 3 games. Eaton had a great at-bat and drove this ball to left field. The left fielder going back and make a great play up against the wall. And when you give credit where credit is due, when you look at the effort in which this team displayed during this 3-game series, they're completely out of it, and they're playing for the pride that comes with being a Major League Baseball player, and kudos to the Miami Marlins for closing out this game.